When he was first diagnosed, autism was a new word for me. I didn't know what it was, and I had never heard of anybody else having it or having a child with it.
We didn't know what it meant, but I knew that things would never be the same.
For me, I think it was kind of going through denial. It's like, okay, that can't be, not my son.
They didn't have a lot of information how children develop autism and that there's not a cure for autism.
When I started in the field of autism about 30 years ago, the incidence rate was about 1 in 10,000 children had autism. When I was a classroom teacher and got the job as a classroom teacher, I didn't really know what autism was back then. And as the years have gone by, we've come to realize that there are more and more children coming to us with the diagnosis.
So at Any Baby Can, we really like to meet the gaps, fill the gaps for families. So we started an education program and a support group. And families really were interested in doing that and wanted to do that. They wanted an outlet. They wanted to be able to get together with other people that were just like them and talk to them about, these are the things that I'm going through and what have you done? What have other people have done? Because it can be difficult, it can be hard. So we had 3 moms that were part of a support group that we had, and Frances Ramirez is an employee of ours, and she also has a child with autism, and she said, why don't we have a time where we can all get together and go to a park and maybe just have a walk.
I first met Frances about 32 years ago when her daughter was 8 years old. Her daughter, I can still remember her walking hand in hand with her daughter Anna into my classroom. I was a special education teacher at that time, and I had a classroom of children with autism. And Frances always was a very powerful parent. She was always one that back then really wanted more information about autism, because back then there wasn't a lot of information. And she really was a driving force within the parents of the kids in my classroom to be one of great support. So that's by nature, that's how Frances is.
The case managers way back then took me under their wings. So I started out answering phones, taking messages, and then from there, each case manager, when they needed some kind of help, they would take me with them to help out the families. As time went on, and there were no services for children that had autism, no services whatsoever.
Well, I went to Frances one day, and I told her that I felt there was just no support. I don't know, I kind of felt lost. And she said, there's another mom who feels the same way. Let's get together and let's talk about it. So we did. So we sat down one day and we started talking about it, and I told her, I said, where this really stems from is, having people out in the community not understanding. Because I really literally had a woman tell me to discipline my child, that's why he was acting up. And I got angry at first, but then I felt bad for her because she didn't know. She had no idea about autism. And then, so in my mind, I was like, people need to know so that either they're more supportive or they at least won't make comments,
And then me and 2 other parents, Lisa Luna and Elizabeth Garcia, decided that we needed something for awareness for autism.
So when we sat down, that was one of the things that we talked about, was like, how can we get people to understand, or how can we get awareness out there about autism?
So Hugo at that time was a case manager there at Any Baby Can. So I went to him and I said, you know what, we need to start something, a walk. And the other 2 parents, we need a walk, And he goes, well, great. He goes, let me go to Any Baby Can and find out to see what they can do for us.
And it was something that started very simply, people saying, let's get together, have a time to raise some awareness, because people need to know about autism. Because this was, 10 years ago, to where the incidence rate wasn't as high as it is now. So you didn't hear about that many people having kids with autism at that point. And the few that were out there were a bit overwhelmed and really had no idea what to do.
So they said, fine. That time it was Don Dixon, the executive director of Any Baby Can. So he went to her, and from there, he goes, okay, we need to find sponsors. So Davila Pharmacy, Mr. Rudy Davila was the one who helped me out. I went to him, and I said, I need help. He goes, well, what do you need? I go, I need a sponsor to sponsor my T-shirts for an autism walk. He goes, okay, Francis. He goes, you have it. You've got it.
Her goal was she wanted to get everyone wearing T-shirts, the same T-shirts, getting some sponsorship for the T-shirts. And she knew that it was just starting out, and she did not know where she was going to come up with the funds to do this. And Frances always comes up with funds somehow. She's very resourceful. She's a very nice lady. And she came to me and asked me, is there any way you can help us out? And I said, well, her big thing was the T-shirts. And we bought all the T-shirts for everybody who participated in the walk for the first several years.
So we talked to a community center, and they said, yeah, come over. We'll have you walk around our track and learn a bit about services that you bring out here. And
then from there, we started finding other agencies to help us out for resource tables. And we started finding sponsors for juice or anything that we could get for free. That was my play, for me to find people to donate, to help us out.
And we brought in, different family members to help out, and then the first walk got started.
So we had maybe about 250 people that showed up that first year. We kind of felt like, okay, there is something special here. There is something important that we have here with this walk.
We didn't expect that many people. We didn't expect all these children and families and grandparents and uncles. And I said, well, I didn't think people would do it. I honestly didn't think that, but they did. They came out, and they were hungry for information and talking to one another. And we just started registering people. As a matter of fact, it was really funny because we were signing up people. And I can't remember the lady's last name, but I remember her first name. First name was Esther, and she was director there. So she made menudo for everybody. So we had menudo on that special walk.
So we had 3 tables that were out there just talking about the different services available in the community. Obviously, we were there talking about our case management services and our support group that we started.
Everybody just hung around, talking to one parent to another parent. Giving out information, hey, my child goes to this speech therapist, or hey, ABA is over here, with this other person. So we were finding out that there was a lack, that we needed more resource tables.
It was exciting. It was very exciting because it was something that we had sat down, just us moms, and talked about, and we just walked around, a couple of times,
Just walked in unison, and that they were showing their pride and in honoring their children and feeling blessed that they did have these children in their lives, and they are not alone in this journey.
And the awareness was really awesome. Then we started finding out, hey, there's more to this, let's keep doing this.
First year we went up against another big event that has 30,000 people that go to that event. And we thought, well, maybe that's why more people didn't come to our event. And we thought, well, maybe that'd be great if one day we could shoot for becoming a big event, that we do compete with somebody that has that many.
And that's how the walk evolved. So as the years went by, it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so now we're up to 10,000 people.
We're sending a message today that any baby can and every baby counts, that all children in the city of San Antonio are special children, they're loved children, we care about them, we know they have a great future, and we're going to work for it. Thank you.
I was compelled when I learned about the walk to get involved, and now I love it.
I can't think of another place in the United States that has this kind of pouring and outreach to try to support people with autism. And also, this training would not have been possible to the police department and also the fire department if it wasn't for Any Baby Can.
It's got so big, after 5 years, then they bought Alfred aboard because it got too big for us to handle. So then from there on, Alfred was the one who took over to be able to find a place for us to have our walk, find a place for our resource tables, which now is humongous.
You know, you go through the last 9 years and see the growth. I feel like every single year it doubled in size. To where last year we had over 125 different resources that were there to give information to families. And really, one of the goals of that Autism Awareness Walk those many years ago was just to make sure that parents knew what was out there, what resources were available to them, and to reduce that isolation, to know that, hey, there are other people that are going through the same thing that I'm going through. So now, when you look at 8,000 people coming together, it really builds that sense of community, and it makes you feel like I'm not alone, and you can go and then learn about all the different services that are available in the community.
For Rudy, just 6 years old, he died in an apartment fire, and he was autistic. He hid when he got scared by the fire.
And I remember the last thing he told me, the last thing he said was, he said, "I love you." And he went to bed. He was just sleeping. I wrapped him up. And I ran out the door and I wanted to go towards the pool. Because the only thing I could think of was just to get out. But when I ran, we caught on fire, and I let go because I couldn't hold on to him anymore. And I had to run back the opposite way and run through the apartment. It's weird. It's like every part of your body, being a mom, wants to keep going to save your child, but there's this other part of your body that just is too afraid and couldn't. It's like one part of your mind says to do something, but something else is controlling you. You're running the other way. And I remember kicking the window, but it wouldn't break, and it finally broke, and I was able to jump out. And I remember just being out there, and I was screaming and screaming, and I remember looking at the fire and feeling like there's no way he's gonna survive this. And I remember feeling like one moment I felt being so full and having something with me, and I remember the exact moment when I looked back at the fire, and I just felt like something just went through me and it left, and I felt so empty, and I remember I stopped screaming, and I realized that there was just nothing there for me anymore. And I just walked away. I didn't realize that how badly I was burned. I couldn't I couldn't feel it. I just was in shock.
Bernie always wanted to be a superhero. He used to wear a towel around his neck, and he wore a Superman mask and a Spider-Man mask, and he wanted to be Bumblebee from Transformers. So it was important to me to make Bernie's hero routine for me to be here. I think it's apparent today that today on April the 14th, Bernie actually became a hero. I didn't want my son's name to be tied to a tragic story. So one day I thought, I'm gonna make a difference. I'm gonna come up with a plan to help children and adults, not just with autism, but with all different types of different abilities. Our kids need to be safe. We need to educate parents on fire safety. And I hope that Bernie's playground and Bernie's fire safety plan continues to grow, not just in San Antonio, but all over Texas, and hopefully one day all over the world. Thank you so much.
So what came from that is we knew that we needed to train our families first and foremost to make sure that their children were able to communicate, because kids with autism many times are nonverbal. So we needed to be able to make sure that we could communicate to them that there is an emergency, that there is danger, what to do in an emergency. So we wanted to make sure that families had the resources to train their kids to do that first and foremost. Secondly, we needed to be able to train the fire department to say, okay, there is a child here with autism, so what do I need to do differently?
Any Baby Can staff, they're wonderful people. And that was a precipitating incident to embark our agency on a program of training first responders, police officers, firefighters, EMS technicians, on how to deal with children on the autism spectrum, children with autism, not just children and adults with autism. And during my tenure as president and then board chair, that program was rolled out and implemented.
So we took it upon ourselves and to go with Any Baby Can in order to build a good reputation and some good educational materials that would allow those first responders to be able to deal with those special situations.
So that way they go in knowing that they may need to use picture symbols, or they may need to go look in closets or under beds or other places like that where children may hide that are scared.
We have also participated in the Walk for Autism over the last few years, because that fire also brought us to realize that our family is much like the families in the community.
Hello everybody. The San Antonio Fire Department is very, very pleased to be part of this great initiative to educate families with special needs. It was very personally brought home to us last year with little Rudy Alejos, but I want to tell you that tragedy has turned him into a star, and I'm very pleased to be part of this event. It is our family protecting your family.
We have firefighters who actually have children with special needs, and because of that, this partnership is very important to the San Antonio Fire Department and also to Any Baby Can.
And from that, it has just grown to where the police department said, well, we want to be trained.
Any Baby Can helps us by providing training to our officers about the signs of special needs children, about autism, and that goes a long, long way in the officers, providing the officer with the ability to recognize children with special needs.
We literally are just a piece of the puzzle, the police department, fire department, but everybody out here are part of the fabric of the community that makes San Antonio great.
The awareness of autism is growing in our community, so the San Antonio Police Department's piece of the puzzle is to train our officers to appropriately interact with individuals with autism. We want to help people when they're in crisis, and we want these individuals to run to the first responders, not run away from first responders.
And if we can give the companies, the businesses, the first responders, different items for them to help them to make things a little easier, we want to do that.
In San Antonio, we're very blessed with a community that is very giving. Individuals and companies and corporations have always, I have found, to be ones who want to give. And they want to give in particular to those who have special needs and organizations that help those with special needs, because they recognize that the need is so great. When we start to look at the statistics of the number of people in this community who have special needs, we start to look at numbers that well exceed anything that we think that may exist. Well over 200,000 people in Bexar County alone need some form of assistance on a daily basis to get through their day, whatever that situation may be, whether it be severe or a minor situation. And so when you look at the need that exists out there and what organizations like Any Baby Can and many other organizations are involved in ensuring that those people are given an opportunity to take things that we may take for granted and be able to help them with that, to be able to achieve their dreams, is something that we all need to focus on, both as individuals, but also very importantly as corporations, which have the opportunity and potentially the resources to make a real difference in this community.
It's very exciting, and because this is what we wanted. We wanted people to know, and we wanted the community to be aware of our kids, because we want to include them, you know, everywhere at restaurants and movies and everywhere we go, and that's going to be part of the community. So having the community support is just beyond words. It really is.
And then we started inviting more people in the community, inviting city officials, state representatives, people that could really help us make a difference and bring more people in. And I think that has really made a huge difference too, where now this event is something that not only gives information to families, not only gives them the idea that they're not alone, but it also gives money that comes back to Any Baby Can. And all that money that we raise stays here in San Antonio, and through Any Baby Can, we're able to provide services. So every year, our autism services continue to grow, and it's because of the Walk for Autism. It's because of the community. It's because of the people that come out and dedicate months and months of their time to make this event what it is.
It's now become, I feel, the largest walk in South Central Texas for autism. And we have over 100 resource tables. We have so many people that can come and share their information with families about services that they offer. It becomes kind of a one-stop shop, a one-stop place where families can not only feel connected with other families and feel support and in this journey that they're on, but they can also then meet with service providers that are out in the community and they can just feel like there is a place to go and there is a community effort behind supporting their child with autism.
I can see it. I can see the finish line from here.
Every year, Peyton's family looks forward to being a part of the Any Baby Can's Walk for Autism. It's a big, joyful event where all the family, friends, uncles, teachers, classmates, supporters, and even the neighbors come together to show their support for Peyton. This year, Peyton has one more reason to celebrate. He was recognized with a top fundraiser award after his team raised over $5,000. Peyton's life is pretty good right now, but it was not always like that. Peyton was born in Arizona. As a first child, his birth brought happiness and light to his family. However, his parents soon noticed he was not like the other kids.
Well, at first, of course, I felt devastated and I uncertain and didn't know, because we didn't know what, we knew there was something. We didn't know what it was that was going on with him, why he was very unhappy and screamed a lot and just very difficult to be around.
Peyton was diagnosed with Asperger's at the age of 4. His family was devastated and uncertain about their future. They knew little about Peyton's condition and didn't have any resources, but they needed to provide him with the best opportunities possible to help him to be a part of society.
Then once he was diagnosed, we then had resources and we could, we started our path, of therapies and of different types of classes and training, and learning that there's nothing wrong with him. He is what he just is the way he is. He's a very unique individual and got amazing talents, and he just doesn't fit into everybody else's box. He is a very individual, unique little boy, and he's teaching us how to do this. He's teaching us how to be parents. He's taught me more than we'll ever teach him.
They found a wonderful psychiatrist, and from there, one person led to the next one. They moved to Texas and reached out to Any Baby Can.
And once we came to Texas from Arizona, we met Any Baby Can, and I took all their classes, everything they had to offer, and we started doing occupational therapy and speech therapy, and I think the biggest help I had was they taught me about the laws for special needs kids, and so I knew how to be his advocate.
They not only found all the resources they needed, but also unconditional support and love.
All his teachers support us. They come, they come to his birthday parties. They're part of our family.
Peyton's family just got bigger with Any Baby Can.
My mother-in-law, which she couldn't be here, she's in Arizona, and she came last year. She made all our signs. She made everything that we have, the hats, the goofy hats, all of our stuff. We've put a lot of time and effort. We talk to everybody all year round about this. This is our big thing, our family thing, that our family and their friends and everybody we know, and we get a lot of help from different places in the community. Chick-fil-A did a fundraiser for us. Domino's Pizza does fundraisers for us. And it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too, because we know that this is helping other families just like us.
Team Peyton, as they call themselves, has been participating in the Walk for Autism for years now, and they plan to continue doing so. They have experienced firsthand all the positive impact that this organization can have in the life of a child and everybody else's life around him. Therefore, year after year, they come together and participate as a team at the Any Baby Can's Walk for Autism.
This walk represents coming together and knowing that no one's alone. We're all on this journey together, and we're here as a community to help.
My name is Hope Marie Cueva. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm a mom to a wonderful little girl. This is Caitlin. As you know, we'll be walking for Caitlin 2 miles today.
Caitlin was born on May 4th, 2001 in Irvine, California. Soon after she was born, Hope noticed her daughter's anxious behavior, such as clenching her fists and being withdrawn.
We couldn't understand. She'd get anxiety attacks, and we couldn't figure out. This was like at 1-2 years old. So then suddenly somebody noticed she wasn't talking a lot more. So then I took her to a psychologist, and she got diagnosed with autism. Being that I'm a single mom, I felt very alone when she first got diagnosed, because I didn't think nobody knew what I was going through. The challenges were just outrageous.
The staff at Caitlin's daycare facility referred Hope to Any Baby Can, where she received the support she so desperately needed.
I needed help with autism. I didn't know what it was. So once I got there, they treated me like family. And it was the most awesome experience. They've taught me the tools that I need to raise my daughter. How to hold her when she gets angry, to deep pressure her, and how to deal with autism. Educate me on what autism is. And now that I'm in a better place, now I can be the mom that I'm supposed to be. We'll be walking for Caitlin 2 miles today. We all have love for each other. There's no anger, there's no nothing. It's all love and support. That's what we need more for these children and for each other. I love these. I love everybody supporting Caitlin. Thank y'all for supporting Caitlin, my Any Baby Can, with any kid with special needs, they're there. They help any and every family. They provide for them whatever they need. I want to try to get to be a home trainer so I can teach other families what I've learned from the best. I learn from them, from the best.
All this from the walk, where you see thousands of people there, and they hunger for information. And they want to know that they're not the only ones that are out there, that there are other people that are there, other parents, other children that have the same diagnosis, that have the same behavior issues, that they're not alone.
So we just want to make sure that our families know that, you know, Any Baby Can is just one small piece of the puzzle in their life. We just want to make sure that they understand that they're not alone, and we always say that if we will just invite people over and invite them to come to one of our meetings, and we provide a little bit of food, they will do the rest on their own. They will meet everybody else. They will learn that there are other people that are in the same situation that they're in, and that they're not alone.
There's a lot of different components, I guess, to autism. It is a puzzle. It is a puzzle because it takes everybody doing everything from all angles. It is families doing everything that they can for their own child. It is the community coming together to do something for your community where you live, San Antonio, and Any Baby Can. But then with things like the silent auction, it's beyond San Antonio. It is, it's people from all different places coming together and wanting to help.
I think it's very important that our community knows more about autism so that they have more patience with children and, adults, and just understand, because you see someone acting out doesn't mean that they're just acting out. It may be because there may be more involved, and that everybody should be a little bit more patient and not judge.
I think it's so very important that we as the business leaders in the community rally around and support Any Baby Can. Our Walk to Autism is a fantastic way for you to get out in the community and learn more about it. And if you cannot be there to actually do the walk, you can still support it by your financial means. And so we encourage you to do that. It doesn't matter how minor the donation is, it will help.
I think the entire community, whether it's business, whether it's the residents, whether it's the familia, they're all they're part of this community, and we're all pieces of the puzzle that come together to help the children, to help the families. Because it's not only the children are suffering from autism, but it's the families that are caring for them, and they need a lot of help as well. And as a business owner, I would hope that we're able to lend some help, meet a need at times for these parents, for the agencies that are able to reach out and help these patients.
With Any Baby Can, each step is a step forward in a journey toward health, toward healing, and toward a sense of completion, that I can handle this, my family can handle this. And so it is that one step after another, autism being one of the diseases, one of the conditions that Any Baby Can focuses on to help those families. But it's one step after another. And when you get to the finish line, maybe there is a bright light. It's that sense of connectedness to others who have the similar fate as you do, so that families don't feel by themselves, that it's one step together and another step, just like it's one day after the next. And so at the end of the year, you can say, I made it through. And at the end of the journey, you say, I'm ready for the next day. And you do so with a joy, Because if I know anything about Any Baby Can, they don't dwell on the sadness. They don't dwell on the what ifs. They dwell on the what to do's and how to be the best parent you can or the best grandparent, even given tough circumstances. So families feel connected and they don't feel alone, and they see that it is a light at the end of the tunnel.